Imagine losing your job for defending someone. Sounds unfair, right? But what if that dismissal was just the beginning of an incredible life change? That's exactly what happened to Camila, a brave waitress who never imagined her actions on a turbulent day would change everything. An unexpected encounter, a courageous act, and devastating consequences set the stage for a story filled with surprising twists. But when everything seemed lost, something unimaginable happened. What does Elon Musk, one of the world's most influential figures, have to do with it? And how did this moment transform Camila's life forever? Get ready for an emotional journey of courage, injustice, and redemption. Camila had been working at that cafe for years, but the routine always felt like a mix of comforting and monotonous. It was an ordinary morning, with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingling with the soft sounds of low conversations and clinking cutlery. Sunlight streamed through the large front window, illuminating Camila's focused face as she served a table near the door. But in that moment, everything changed. A tall man with striking features and an almost hypnotic gaze walked through the door. For a brief moment, the cafe fell silent. Camila quickly realized that all eyes had turned to him. Elon Musk, the billionaire visionary, was standing in the small cafe where nothing extraordinary ever happened. It was impossible not to notice the tension in the air. Elon didn't seem like the type to frequent such a modest place. As he calmly chose a table in the corner, Camila felt a mix of curiosity and nervousness. His presence seemed to transform the cafe into a stage, where everyone eagerly awaited what would happen next. Amid furtive glances and whispers, Camila decided to stick to her usual approach, professional yet cordial. She walked over with her notepad and a polite smile, though her mind buzzed with questions she would never dare to ask. As she took his order, Camila couldn't help but notice how Elon seemed entirely unfazed by the attention. He carried himself with a calm demeanor, almost as if he were in a world of his own. Yet, there was something in his gaze that suggested he was looking for more than just a simple cup of coffee. Maybe he wanted an escape from the weight of fame, or perhaps there was something bigger, still unknown, that had brought him there. And so what seemed like a trivial encounter began to take on an air of mystery. The regular customers, now caught in a mix of astonishment and admiration, started forming their own theories at their tables. Why was Elon Musk there? Was it just a casual stop, or was there a hidden purpose behind his presence? Every move he made was followed with heightened attention, but Elon remained calm, almost enigmatic. As for Camila, she tried her best not to get swept up in the magnetic energy that seemed to envelop the room. As she served his order, Camila couldn't have known that this seemingly innocent moment would be the start of a chain of events that would change her life forever. Something in the air hinted that this wasn't just any day, and though she didn't fully understand it yet, she knew she was on the brink of something significant. Fate had plans, and they were about to unfold. The cafe, once a haven of peace, now felt like a stage set to erupt in drama. Camila continued her work, but she couldn't ignore the growing murmurs among the customers. A man sitting near the counter, ordinary in appearance but radiating dissatisfaction, finally broke the silence. He raised his voice, directing his words straight at Elon Musk. "So, this is it? You show up here like one of us, but you're creating something that could wipe out millions of jobs?" he said bluntly, referring to artificial intelligence. Elon, who had seemed entirely detached until then, calmly lifted his gaze. He didn't reply immediately, which only heightened the tension in the room. All eyes were on him, and Camila felt her heartbeat quicken. The atmosphere was thick, as if something monumental was about to happen. The man pressed on. "You talk about progress, but what about the lives destroyed along the way? Is this what they call innovation?" It was a direct accusation, and the weight of his words seemed to echo in every corner of the cafe. Camila observed the scene while finishing up serving another table. Though she tried to maintain her composure, the unease was palpable. Elon finally responded, his tone firm yet courteous. "The future is never easy to build, but progress without responsibility isn't progress. We're creating tools, not destroying lives." His reply, both measured and enigmatic, left the man even more irritated. He shot back with a tone dripping in disdain. "Easy for you to say when you have billions in your pocket." The tension escalated, and Camila knew she had to do something. She felt a mix of empathy for Elon and discomfort with how the man was conducting the confrontation. It was clear that the emotions in the room went far beyond a simple debate. For the other customers, it was like a live spectacle, but for Camila, it was a moment that demanded sensitivity. She felt an urge to step in but hesitated, unsure of what might happen if she did. Still, something about the scene felt purposeful. Camila didn't know it yet, but this moment would prove pivotal in shaping the direction her life would take. Elon's words echoed in her mind, as did the man's indignant tone. It felt as though fate wasn't just testing Elon but everyone present, including her. The tension in the cafe had reached its peak, and Camila knew she couldn't remain silent any longer. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of every gaze that might turn against her. With steady steps, she approached the man who had confronted Elon Musk. "Excuse me," she began, her voice firm but laced with kindness. "I understand your concerns, but can we discuss this with a bit more respect? Everyone here is entitled to their opinions, but personal attacks won't solve anything." The room went silent. Camila wasn't known for involving herself in arguments, but something about this moment had sparked an unexpected courage within her. Her eyes briefly met Elon's, and for a fleeting moment, she saw a mixture of surprise and admiration in his gaze. Turning back to the man, she continued, "I work hard every day and know what it's like to fear the future, but I also know how to recognize when someone is trying to do something beyond themselves. He may not be perfect, but who among us is?" The other customers began murmuring, some nodding in agreement. The man hesitated, seemingly taken aback by her intervention, but his face still carried indignation. "So you think this is fair?" he challenged, his tone sharp. Camila, however, stood her ground. "I think fairness is a road we build together. If we only criticize without offering solutions, we're just creating more barriers." Elon watched silently, his eyes fixed on Camila. It was as if he was evaluating something beyond her words, perhaps her integrity, perhaps her bravery. Camila felt her legs tremble for a moment but maintained her composure. "If we're going to criticize, let it be to build, not to tear down," she concluded, meeting the man's gaze. This time he had no retort. He simply lowered his eyes, as though the fire had left him. The moment felt like it had lasted an eternity, but within seconds, the cafe returned to its usual rhythm, though the atmosphere was still thick with emotion. Camila returned to the counter, trying to collect her thoughts. She didn't know if she had done the right thing or exposed herself too much, but when she glanced at Elon again, she saw something unexpected, a faint smile and a subtle nod of acknowledgement. That day, which had started like any other, ended in an unexpectedly bitter way for Camila. The next morning, when she arrived at the cafe, the manager called her into the office. His expression was sterner than usual, and the conversation was direct and cold. "Camila, we appreciate your dedication, but your actions yesterday caused discomfort among the customers. I'm afraid we can no longer keep you on staff." Camila's world seemed to collapse in that moment. She tried to reason, to explain that she only wanted to prevent a worse confrontation, but his words were final. Back in the main area of the cafe, Camila realized the news had already spread among her co-workers. Some looked at her with pity, while others avoided eye contact entirely. The silent betrayal of the place she considered a second home consumed her. How could something as simple as defending someone lead to her dismissal? As she walked out of the cafe for the last time, the weight of injustice bore down on her heart. Despite the pain, she knew deep down she didn't regret taking a stand. The walk home felt longer than ever. Each step was accompanied by doubts and reflections. Had she made the right choice? Perhaps it would have been easier to stay silent. But Camila knew that silence wasn't an option for someone with principles. As she passed a group of people chatting on the sidewalk, she caught snippets of their conversation. The waitress from the cafe? Yes, she got fired. But wow, what courage. Their words echoed in her mind. Despite the pain, something inside Camila began to shift. It was as though, even amid the chaos, she was discovering a new part of herself, a part that refused to conform to rules that stifled her integrity. Sitting on the bed in her small apartment, tears streamed down her face, but there was a different light in her eyes. Maybe this is the beginning of something, she thought, trying to find a thread of hope amidst the confusion. Little did Camila know, destiny had yet another surprise in store for her. What seemed like a devastating end was, in reality, the beginning of a new chapter she could never have imagined. The next day dawned under the same gray sky that mirrored Camila's mood. She woke up without any plans, torn between feelings of defeat and the desire to start anew. As she sipped on a black, bitter coffee, an unexpected knock at the door pulled her from her thoughts. Camila wasn't used to receiving visitors, and curiosity got the better of her. When she opened the door, her heart nearly stopped. Standing there was Elon Musk himself, his expression serious yet kind. "I hope I'm not intruding," he said, holding a small envelope in his hands. Camila was speechless, unable to fathom how he had found her. I wanted to thank you for what you did yesterday, Elon continued, his tone sincere in a way that seemed uncharacteristic for someone of his stature. He handed her the envelope and explained that he couldn't ignore the courage she had shown, even in the face of consequences. You possess something rare these days, integrity, and I believe that deserves recognition. Inside the envelope was an offer that felt like a dream. Elon proposed that Camila join one of his social projects, a program designed to help people in vulnerable situations find employment and develop skills. It wasn't just a generous proposal. It was an opportunity to rebuild her life in a way that felt meaningful. Camila read the words with tears in her eyes as Elon elaborated that he wasn't merely offering her a job, but acknowledging the humanity and bravery she had displayed. For a moment, she hesitated. The doubts that had haunted her during her walk home the day before resurfaced. Am I capable? What if this is just a marketing ploy? But as she looked at Elon, she sensed a genuine sincerity in his actions. This wasn't about fame or business. It was about repaying what she had shown: courage, honesty, and humanity. Camila accepted the offer with a mix of emotion and gratitude, knowing that this marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. As Elon said his goodbyes, he left her with one final message. The world needs more people like you, Camila. And if more people had your courage, we might be a little closer to a better future. Camila teaches us that courage, even in the hardest moments, can be the catalyst for incredible transformations. Who could have imagined that a simple act of defense, so genuine, could turn the tide in such an unexpected way? This story isn't just about a new beginning. It's about believing in your own worth even when the world seems to be falling apart. And you? Have you ever wondered what you would do if you were in Camila's place? Would you have the strength to take a stand and face the consequences? This is the lesson. Sometimes taking risks is the only way to discover what we're truly made of. If this story moved you, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in such a challenging situation? Subscribe to the channel, activate the notifications, and stay tuned for more stories that inspire, touch, and make us reflect. See you next time.